listening to Brigade-Radio-One. Up the irons! Woo!
You're listening to Brigade Radio 1. Hey everyone, it's Ethan with Combat Radio and Brigade Radio 1. We're off campus from our secret undisclosed location at NBC Universal. Why? Because we're here at the Canyon Club backstage at the Canyon Club in Santa Clarita, where we're about to buckle up and do some damage because the Wailers are in town. So I hope your insurance policies are in place because they're going to blow the roof off of this place. And with me now is the band. Can we go around real quick and get everyone's name? Go.
Hi, my name is Chet Samuel.
My name is Adrian Cisneros.
Omar Lopez.
Papañaco.
Al Anderson.
All right. So we've talked about how you speak and how the ladies love it. We're going to talk more about that later. Really quick, Al, we talked briefly before we fired up the mics. You've got actually a pretty royal lineage as a musician, starting with the possibility of working with Traffic, who we love, but you ended up working with everyone. Peter Tosh, Steven Seagal, probably your favorite, right? Who saved you in Thailand?
I love this guy, man. He saved my life twice.
He saved your life twice. Now, this is a story Steven's going to want told over and over. So can you clarify how Steven Seagal saved your life?
Okay, I was stupid in Thailand and had some weed. And I got busted by a general in the hotel that the Army was protecting us. We were doing a movie. It was Into the Sun. And for weed and arms, weapons, you get a sentence and they'll hang you. And I'm so lucky that Stephen was able to talk to the general to get him squared away, which I got a severe beating. Pop, you know, Stephen.
A beating from Stephen or a beating from the authorities?
Stephen, it was worse than getting the cat of nine tails and hung, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because he wasn't so happy about it. This is something that I was really silly these days, stupid. And did stupid things like having weed in Thailand. You don't have weed in Thailand. You don't have weed in Saudi Arabia. You don't have a weapon in Saudi Arabia. I had a weapon in Saudi Arabia on his jet, and I screwed up, and they were going to hang me there too. And I got another beating for fucking up.
How does the band feel about traveling with this guy?
No, I'm an old man now, so these idiot days are over.
Yeah?
The idiots. The days of innocence and idiotsness is over. You know, so you get wise quick.
What's it like? Like, what's an everyday like on the road with you guys now? Like, do you guys get up and make your own coffee? Do you guys shop for your own groceries? I mean, you're the Wailers. It's like, do you wake up and be like, "Fuck, I'm the Wailers, man. Life is good," or do you work?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that how it is?
Life is beautiful because we are a part of the original Wailers catalog and vibrations and the heartbeat of the music that so many people are connected to. Also, it's very complicated because we're hungry, we're tired, we want to sleep more, but we got to roll to a gig like now, and we got to do interviews like now, we got to play, and we like all of this because this is what we signed up for. The wonderful thing is that we have some great performances, and that makes you feel really good. You meet some real nice people like you, and it makes you feel good knowing that I met some really nice people today, and they're friends, and I'll see them again. And we get a good chance to play together every night, the best that we possibly can. Some nights are fantastic, and it makes you really feel good. A bad night, you can tell when I've had a bad night. I'm grumpy, you don't see me, I'm not saying anything, and I got some issues. Because we've done this long enough that it's supposed to be correct every night, but sometimes you run into, an uneven sidewalk and you get knocked down, you just flat on, you hit your foot and you fall face first. And I have a lot of nights like that, but with this group of guys, they keep me well grounded so I can play and focus in on what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Give me two epic moments. One musically that impacted you, that made you who you are, but one that you were a part of for someone else. Just to give you a little foreshadowing, I was talking with some of your fans out front who talked about 30 years ago standing in knee-deep mud to see you guys play. And that's...
Crystal Palace.
Is that what it was? Because they, like...
In England.
You could see the meaning it had when they were talking.
Yeah, Bob had, he was a messenger. And his prophecy was to speak the words of his God. And he sacrificed his life for his philosophy, his country, and his family, and his friends. And there's few pop stars, there's few artists, there's few individuals that have what it took to make him the artist he still is now and was. There's few guys that would sacrifice their life for their country. He put his philosophy, his country, and his family first, and his friends, way before a lot of other selfish pride that men have. And he suffered the ultimate consequence for being believing in himself and speaking his mind.
So do you have a moment with him that you think like that was the moment that has defined, from that moment on, I charted a different path?
Zimbabwe, when he put the, he got Canaan Banana elected, pretty much. They used us as a political welcome mat for the people. And there were so many freedom fighters that were the cause of Rhodesia's downfall and the uprising of Zimbabwe. That's why we didn't get a chance to perform. We should have invited the freedom fighters, the soldiers, into the concert because they didn't want them to come in because they had their arms. There was just a big revolution, and Rhodesia surrendered to another flag of Zimbabwe. Bob was instrumental at helping because it was all about uniting Africa, and Bob was into Michael Manley, who supported Castro and so on, and Bob Marley was somebody that the Western Hemisphere was watching very carefully. Europe was watching him. They were watching his words. They were watching us. We were like, we were a revolutionary band. We had our instruments were our artillery. And the words, Peter, Bob, and Bunny, the Wailers, the words were so revolutionary that when the people from the Western Hemisphere saw that Bob Marley and the Wailers were aiding and abetting African leaders and getting them elected and getting Michael Manley elected 8 years running, he had some issues with the American government, like CIA files, FBI files, people following us around, spying on us in high places. And don't forget that Bob's doctor, the last 6 months of his life, was Hitler's youngest doctor, Joseph Issels, looked after Bob's body and his chemotherapy and radiotherapy in his last days, to show you how strange this can get, how out of control. And when you think you have it all under control, even if you are a revolutionary, it's so difficult being a leader, and he was a true leader.
So what do you think still needs to be done from like that perspective, where your work before you still stands?
That's what we're doing here. We're representing.
You're liberating Santa Clarita from, because it needs. I think it needs part of what you're talking about. In all honesty, this is my neighborhood.
Well, hopefully the people come in and feel what we're doing and feel what we're saying. They hear the Marley music, they hear Chet's music, they hear our music.
Do you have a moment that sticks out in your mind, or any of you, where you realize what we're doing that just affected that person, and that's
when
fulfilled
Bob
my mission?
I wasn't with Bob then. I had gone to the Stones with Peter Tosh and the Stones. Mm-hmm. They took Peter Tosh on. I left Bob because his management wasn't as good as he was. He was so much more intelligent than his management could ever want to be. So I kind of wandered away for a while because I wanted change, And when I saw Bob put Michael Manley and Eddie Siaka's hands together in National Arena in front of 40,000 people, I realized that this guy he's really risking his life for his country, and he suffered a great deal. People don't know how much what he went through. He was just under stress all the time. If it wasn't the American government, if it wasn't feds, it was CIA and feds in Jamaica.
Were you around him when they tried to assassinate him?
The federal police officers were in Kingston. I was an American citizen. They worked for Ronald Reagan and George Bush, and they literally said to me that if Bob got Michael Manley elected, it would be an assassination on the whole group. And I had just had my first song, so I went to Bob and I said, Bob, there's some people who aren't happy about you performing for the Prime Minister and winning the election for him. And he did anyway, and that's when those guys came to kill him and kill the Wailers. They killed Carly and they killed Peter. Bunny is too intelligent to get involved with police and thieves and government. He's too smart. But Bob was brave and Peter was braver.
How does one convey a message of assassination? Like how does a threat like that? I mean, did they tell you, take you aside and say, this is what's going to happen?
Yes, they did.
And at that point,
I went straight to Bob and told him what 3 agents had told me in a nightclub, and he says, did he look like this? Was his name that? And he knew the guys, and he told me to tell them to come and take it. Come and take me out of here. And they did. They tried to kill us all. I wasn't there because I didn't run away. I didn't like what was going on. I'm not really crazy about politicians and government, although Michael Manley was a good man. But he comes from the Bustamante family, and he was really close to Castro, and so was Bob. And the Western Hemisphere wasn't having it. So they made us suffer. They killed our drummer. They killed Peter Tosh, and they assassinated Bob. So they made it so difficult for us to survive because of our music, that these guys and all the incarnations of the Wailers that we've put together have always had to go through a hide and seek and be true to yourself, because there's just so many spies. The record company had spies. Walter Yetnikoff wanted to sign Bob Marley with Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer way back in the day, because the 3 of them are impeccable. Just one of them is fantastic, but the 3 of them are, forget it, it's unbelievable. Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones came to sign Bob to a lucrative contract, and we had so many spies and so many girls, and we're telling the CEOs and all the people that were above us that were distributing our music what was going on in our hearts and our souls, which the Wailers had it really bad.
Was Quincy Jones a spy?
Quincy Jones was a record producer-director who wanted an artist that could write songs, along with Michael Jackson, who wanted publishing.
Right.
So they came from Marley's songwriting and publishing and his wizardry as a songwriter and a singer.
But would you put him in the positive good guy camp, or would you put him in the spy camp?
I put him in the positive good guy. Him along with Michael and Walter Yetnikoff were going to do amazing things they were going to give us all that what we needed to be artists. It's just that we stayed on the label that he started with and ended up getting ripped off like the Jacksons and the Temptations and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
We got ripped off bad. They killed our drummer. They killed Peter Tosh. They assassinated Bob Marley. That's how bad that they wanted the Wailers not to succeed, that they had to kill.
So do you think, We Knew Tonight's show was going to be probably one of the best of the decade. This might be the interview of the decade, but do you think that having survived that what kind of wisdom does that give you, having to survive basically a direct assassination attempt? It
just gets your hands harder to just keep knocking down all the stones that you run into. There's just so many obstacle courses. There's the management. We got great management now. Inevitable's doing a great job for us. Paradigms is booking us as much as we can book. We sleep in 5-6 hours a night. We're up and running all over between Morocco, Italy, Spain, all over Europe and all over America and Hawaii and Asia, and we're going to all these wonderful places. For us, it's just these guys are protection for me because they're great musicians. He's a fabulous singer. This guy's an engineer. This guy played with Hugh Masekela when he was 16 years old. He's a multi-instrumentalist, one of the better cats in the California area. And like I said, we had so many obstacles that we had to get over the obstacle and get to the finish line and not win anything. We just wanted to get to the finish line, whether we were last or first, and just say, hey, we were in the game, and we didn't win. But the lawyers, the spies, and all the agents, those are the guys that won. They really beat us, because if Peter, Bob, and Bunny was alive today, it'd be a whole nother world going on now. If the Beatles were around, and Jimmy and these cats who sacrificed themselves for what they believed in. If these cats were Miles and so on, if these cats were still alive, we'd make a really big change today. Because look back to the 70s and 80s, it was some good living, and it wasn't as bad. And the black and white thing, we got to get over this colored and white and black shit. We got to get over it. It's not happening. We're not here to look at skin color. All our kids are mixed. My son's colored. So I can't hate no one. I can't. I'm a Buddhist. I can't hate. I dislike a lot of things, and it's incorrect. But the correct thing is that if we can't love women and mankind, we're failing as human beings. And don't forget, human beings will literally do anything. They'll destroy, they'll create, and they'll build, and they'll burn. So it's a very dangerous thing to know that so many human beings in our American, there's just so many, we have so much land with so many people, that if we start going the right direction and we start thinking the right things, we got a good chance of making it across the finish line and having something to pass on to our children and children's children. But if we just keep burning Earth the way it's going here, there's not going to be anything left, and there's going to be total destruction.
Give me real quick, actually, before I come back to you for one final sort of philosophy in a nutshell, or philosophy in a shell casing, what does it mean to be with the Wailers? In one word or less, or a sentence or less.
Learning.
Grateful.
Grateful?
Oh man, one word.
You can use a sentence. We'll spread it out for you.
Man, it's gold.
It's good. You can't get it better than that.
Man.
If you want to play reggae music, the Wailers. And from where I'm coming from to the Wailers, I'm in the cloud 9. That's why I showcase it every night.
Yeah, we're glad to have him. He's representing Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And with you, what would be your message for people hearing this, or how would you sum up life moving forward?
Just stay true to your heart, and if you never had that opportunity to do something that you've always wanted to do, whether it's music or buy a home or go off into the world and find yourself, make sure you find yourself really quick today, because if we don't start finding ourselves as human beings, we'll be lost, and we're going to lose Earth, we're going to lose everything that we stood for since we were created. And that's why we're musicians, because we have a different, our cycle is completely different from the norm of getting up and going to work for 9 hours, and we work for 2-3 hours a night. And then if we want to rest, for the rest, we don't get that opportunity, but we're free from music 21 hours a day, and we work 3 hours. We surround ourselves with music. We surround ourselves with a lot of love and our family and friends. And I couldn't ask for any more at this point. We could just continue doing what we're doing. I'll be very happy as a group.
Well, tonight's going to be an epic example of what music and soul and spirituality actually means. The Canyon Club Santa Clarita. Show's just about sold out, and if you miss this, you better be dead or in jail. And if you're in jail, break out, because it's obviously going to be an epic evening. This is probably one of the best, most sincere interviews we've done in a long time, and we interviewed just about everyone, including right here in this very room, the Temptations. And I got to tell you, too, that's one of the best-dressed bands. I walked up to him and I said, "That is the best-looking outfit I've ever seen on a musician." I said, "I think I'm going to dress like that." And Otis points at me and goes, "I think you'd wear it well, my brother." I walked away going, I felt like I was somebody for about 5. Anyway, it's going to be probably one of the best shows you can possibly catch. If you can't catch tonight's show with the Wailers, obviously go to the website. We'll be posting up future dates where you can get, where you can make it to the next level as a human being and spiritually speaking with music. This will be your opportunity. Tonight is going to be quite special. Canyon Club, Santa Clarita. We were going to talk, I wanted to actually, we're soccer hooligans, so I wanted to get you. Do you have something else in closing? No, you sure? Now's your chance. Come on.
What's our information?
Oh yeah, theoriginalwailers.com.
Originalwailers.com.
Theoriginalwailers.com.
Theoriginalwailers.com. We'll post it up. Make sure everyone knows where you're going to be in the future and
social media and all that stuff too.
Yeah, I'm going to hook up and I'm going to terrorize you guys socially speaking.
OG Wailers.
OG Wailers, really? Yeah. Did you come up with that? Did you? I don't know. You're denying credit, but I said anyway. You guys have a big show tonight. It's going to be epic. I'm going to cut it short. I wanted to talk soccer because we're soccer hooligans, and since you guys know a little thing of something about it, but that we'll save that for another day. I just have one request in closing. My daughter, who's now 16, when she was 9, well, actually when she was 7, she started a campaign to bring Christmas and fill the food bank of the inner city schools. And I was wondering if I can ask you guys to sign a guitar that she can auction off for her charitable cause.
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll do that now, and then I can also tie you in for being heroes for getting involved with that. Okay. Anything in closing? You want to say something, I can tell.
I love you for sentimental reasons. I hope you do believe me. 'Cause I've given you mine.
Much love to you guys. I want to thank you for doing this. This is a real privilege for us.
Oh, thank you.
This might take a while, kid. Why don't you and your buddy run along?
Bye, Laddie. Come on, boy. Let's go home and have some fun, huh? That cat's been strutting around like she owns the place.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Hey, what's up there?
I love this song. Shut up. I love this song.
Ooh, yeah.
Shut up, Lou.
I wanna jam it with you.
I'm jamming, and I hope you like jamming too.
Yeah.
And the rules ain't no vow. We can do it anyhow. I and I will see you through.
See you through, baby.
'Cause every day we pay the price.
It's the thing with sacrifice.
Jamming till the jam is through.
Jamming through, baby.
We're jamming.
I can't really remember that. We're jamming.
To think that jamming was a thing of the past. We're jamming.
Hey, man, I'm jamming.
And I
Hope you like jamming.
Hey everyone, it's Ethan with Combat Radio. You know what you need to do? You need to brace for impact and join us November 17th, Sunday evening, for an epic evening of Christmas awesomeness. What is it? Well, it's a Combat Radio Christmas Carol featuring the members of Guns N' Roses, Danzig, Typo, Negative, Rat, and more, along with the cast members from everything from The Simpsons, Futurama, Avengers Assemble, and all of your favorite shows. And it's all in support of a good cause, our annual Christmas event for social services. You can support that event by going to gofundme.com/combat-radio-christmas-9 with Christmas and 9 spelled out. Or you can go to the Combat Radio Facebook page, get tickets and backstage passes to this epic event featuring everyone from Guns N' Roses to the cast of The Simpsons on the Combat Radio Facebook page. Get it today.